You know, I have this little light over here that I found. It's like a little light bulb looking thing, very cool. But of course, just as I want to start filming, the batteries fail, and so I needed to get new batteries. Success! Look how much that adds. Hey guys, and welcome back to Red Alert, the place for newbies, indies, as well as low budgeters. Today guys, we're going to be talking about 3 clever little ways that you can implement into your action scenes to make them look higher budget and increase the production quality of your video or short film. So what do I mean by increased production quality? So when you have an action set piece, you often have lots of different explosives going off to make things look a bit more higher budget. So when you're shooting something, not only do you want to add muzzle flashes, which we've covered before on the channel, for example my latest advanced muzzle flash tutorial, which definitely adds a lot. You also want to have things on set, practical lights going off to mimic the flashes. You want to have things blowing up. You want to have things breaking off of the wall, for example, to show the real impact. And by adding these things into your short film, whether it's digitally or practically, you increase the production quality, and subconsciously your audience can tell that you've put a lot more effort into it and it looks higher grade. So I have 3 tips for you guys in order to do this, starting with tip number 1, which is include physical objects or physical exploding things into your scene. Now, as I said, you can do this digitally or practically. I would not suggest at all you doing this practically. Often it includes stuff such as squibs for blood, which shoots a little bit of blood via a mini explosive on the person's chest or the talent's chest. And often it includes rigging mini explosives into the wall to blow off chunks of plaster and concrete to mimic bullet hits. Now, this is not advisable for me and you to get into doing this, because often they need to have VFX supervisors and explosive detonation experts on set. We do not have that expertise around, and so we should definitely stick to doing things digitally. Now, doing things digitally does not lessen the quality or the production value of your actual set piece, because it can actually look very real if you use the right stock footage. So ways to actually do this is by adding things such as glass breaking into your scene. Now, glass is really cool. It refracts light, it shimmers when it falls off, and it adds a lot of explosive action to your set piece. You can also add bullet shell casings. If you want to see how to do that, I did cover that in the advanced muzzle flash tutorial, which you can click on screen right now. And obviously you can also add blood squirts and blood mist, things that sort of interact with your environment and things that are practically there even though they're digitally there. All these things provide a boost to your production quality without actually having you spend a lot of money and without having you blow yourself up. Now, my recommendation to you guys for stock footage is always and probably will always be ActionVFX. I've been recommending it for years now. You're probably tired of hearing me talk about this whole spiel, but they recently released their brand new collection of glass breaking assets, and honestly, every time they release a collection, I'm always thinking like, what can these guys do next? They've released explosions, they've released fire, blood, fog, mist, rain, snow, everything, and I'm thinking, well, there's nothing more for these guys to make. And there they come out with glass breaking assets, something you didn't know you need until they made it and gave it to you, and now you need it. As I mentioned, you can add things like glass breaking into your scene. They have multiple variations of this. Their brand new one, as I mentioned, is actual glass objects breaking, which you can just composite into your scene and have it break when someone shoots it or something like that. They also have glass panes and glass bullet hits. A whole bunch of stuff for you guys to download that really will increase the production quality, and it's also really competitively priced. If you look at their assets, a lot of times people get it wrong and think that you have to buy the entire collection. But a little hack, even though it's not really a hack and it's totally allowed, is that you can just buy 1 or 2 assets, because if you don't need 50 different variations of glass breaking assets, which is sort of not reasonable for people like us who are just doing small little set pieces, you can just buy 1 or 2 assets to have a little bit of variation in your actual scene. So while making this video, ActionVFX recently sprung a brand new sale where they're giving you 30% off of everything. It is quite short lasted because it's ending on Christmas Day, but I thought it would be a sin for me to not quickly insert this little piece for you to tell you guys about the sale. But what I did also want to show you guys was what I was talking about earlier, which was buying individual assets. So if we go to the glass category over here, we can see the breaking glassware section, and as you can see, they have 32 variations. And buying the collection, even though it's on sale, we don't necessarily need 32 different files, so we can just buy 1 file. And as you can see, the 2K version will be sufficient, and it's now $10.50 instead of being $15 on sale. And they always have surprise sales going off all the time, so even if you don't necessarily want to get anything right now, you could wait for one of their many sales like the one that's happening right now. Also, what I want to mention is that the bullet shell casings that I was talking about, as well well as the bullet hole textures and the blood mist is all under the free category, which means you can have free to download. Just create an account. Actually, I don't even think you have to create an account, but you just need to just go over to this free page, which will be in the description, and you can download all of these completely for free. Tip number 2 is adding battle smoke to your gun. Now this is something that I haven't really thought about before until obviously ActionVFX made the assets, and I'm sure you could get it from other places, but obviously ActionVFX is the best. Adding battle smoke to your gun adds a sort of lingering feel of the action that just passed. Let's say you have a huge shootout happening, everyone's dead, lying on the floor, and you have your main hero shot with the gun, and there's a little bit of battle smoke coming out. It just adds a sort of lingering feel and makes the prop look a lot more realistic, because someone in the audience will tell, hey, this gun just shot out a massive amount of bullets, it's obviously very hot, and now there's smoke coming out of it. And obviously with the assets from them, it looks very realistic. And once again, I feel like this entire video is me plugging that advanced muzzle flash tutorial, but I covered it in that tutorial. Tip number 3, of course, is to use realistic props. Now this doesn't only apply to guns, but it can apply to knife props as well. Caution though, I would say be very careful when dealing with things like this. A lot of the tips I'm about to tell you make guns look very realistic, and I'm a firm believer that guns are really not meant to be played with in public. Because you can give a lot of people a fright, especially with a lot of the things going on nowadays. It's not advisable to be waving guns around and shooting action scenes in public. So definitely, if you do want to shoot something in public, I would first say don't shoot it in private location where there's no one else around to actually worry about it. If you are going to shoot in public, make sure you have permits, make sure you contact the local law enforcement to inform them that you actually are going to be using gun props that look very realistic. But I would really say stick to indoor areas, private spaces that's not public, to avoid any scares, because you really don't want anything bad to happen and ruin not only your film but your life. But all that dreary stuff out of the way, let's talk about how to make guns look extra realistic. What you can do is actually add little silver dents on the gun. Now the way I would do this is buy a gun that is sort of metal. Now you can find cheap ones like this if they allow it in your country. If not, you can buy a plastic gun. Make sure that it's completely black. Now you can paint over the orange tip to make it black and fit the rest of the gun, and then use silver paint. Now you can buy silver spray paint, or you can use normal silver paint, acrylic paint, and dip a small brush in it and just brush the little edges. Now less is more in this case, but it sort of adds a sort of metal scuff look to the gun and makes it look a lot more realistic. You can also add this detailing to knives as well to make it look more shimmery, and obviously don't use real knives. That's insane. Anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you do want to check out ActionVFX, you can use the link below. I also have a promo code Red Alert, which you can use at checkout to get 10% off of your order. Just a little bonus, and you'll be supporting the channel as well. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. Like over 90% of you are not subscribed right now, which is insane. Why are you watching me if you're not subscribed? Please subscribe. We do make really nice things. I really try my hardest. Yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.